I was actually doing the workshop I did the other day for Canadian Tire. Tragic situation. This woman who was one of the first people to hire me from Canadian Tire, I tried calling her last year, and it was like 2 months she was never in. And I could never get a straight answer from someone as to why she was never in. And then she was in the workshop I did on Thursday. And we were talking at the break. And a young woman, like 30-ish, her sister died of cancer last year. And she said, you can't believe how you started reevaluating your life and what things mean. And that's why she was off for so long, taking care of her sister and essentially watching her pass away. And she really was taken back by what I was talking about all day long. And this one really kicked in for her, the whole aspect of responsibility. And she sent me an email the next morning. We did the board breaking in this particular workshop. And she said, I want you to know, I've got those boards sitting right on my desk. Because what I do is I give out markers and I make sure that people put a symbol on the board. What is it that you're trying to break through? What barrier are you trying to get through? I don't generally have people write it because, in a big situation, people don't want to write private things. So I make it a symbol so you know. And on the back, make a symbol of what you're trying to get to. And she sent me this really profound email saying, it just made such a difference in my life that I see the changes I want to make, and I really hope it's going to work out. So some people would think, oh, that's great and everything. I looked at her email, I emailed her right back and said, don't tell me about hope. Decide. Take responsibility now and decide how you will change your life. There was power in decision. And I got an email right back saying, I've decided to change my life. So take responsibility, that is first principle. Second principle, hold yourself to a higher standard. Your life, your results, they're a reflection of the standards you hold for yourself. And there's some people who think, wow, I've got high standards. How many people think they have high standards? How many people watch the Olympics? The Olympics. You watch the Olympics this summer? I love watching the Olympics. I love watching the stories that come out. I mean, it's incredible. We were actually in London this summer and saw some of the events. The energy that flowed through that city is amazing. If you've ever been to London, it's a great city, but while the Olympics are going on, oh my gosh, incredible. And Michael Phelps, was he something else? Like just smashing records. It was incredible to watch him. What impressed me was what I heard about him. You want to talk about setting standards for what you want? He said he trained. He decided that he wanted to take it to a whole new level. And he trained every day, 365 days a year for 5 years without taking a day off. It's so funny because some people say, oh, there's different types of training, and you don't do that. I know, you have lower standards. He's got a higher set of standards. What happens if you change the standards of your life? What are the things that you could decide to say, this is what I'm going to start doing now? And right alongside of that, and this is what I'm going to stop doing now. Honey Boo Boo at 7:30, it's off. I'm not watching that garbage. You think of the time wasters in TV. Oh my God, are they trying to dumb down society or what? So let's set a new standard for what we want in life. Principle number 3, everything you do makes a difference. Everything. I mean, I'm all into taking action. What we have to do is take action towards what we want to do. And some people will jump up and they will take massive action. You'll get some people that can walk out that door and say, that's it. Life as I know it is over. I'm changing everything. That's some people. Other people, we talked about the small percentage shifts, the airplane. That's a lot of people. But recognize that everything you do, no matter how small, is important and makes a difference. Think of the domino effect. You hit one domino, that hits another, that hits another, that hits another. And you may not see the last domino go down, but the impact is all the way down just because you did that one little thing. Or a pebble. If you take a pebble and throw it in the ocean, you've changed the entire shoreline. And some people say, wow, come on, you don't change the entire shoreline, and you think because you can't see it with the physical eye, it doesn't happen. it happens. And all it was a pebble that went in. That one little ripple effect caused a difference in the ocean. So everything you do in your life that you decide to do today, and if you decide to do something, take some sort of action today. Before the head hits the pillow tonight, you decide to do something that can make a difference. Maybe you call someone you've been meaning to call for a few weeks and you're just going to say, you know what, I'm going to make that call today. Or maybe it's someone you got a falling out with, a friend, a family member, and you'll bridge the gap and make a connection. But do something. Everything you do makes a difference. Now, the fourth principle is you need to understand patterns. That our mind works consciously and unconsciously. It's like 70 or 80% of your day you're doing unconsciously. You don't even realize you're doing it. How many people drive to work? Okay, so you take the same route every day, you take the highway, you get off the same exit every day. You probably pull into the building the same way every day, and I'll bet within a reasonable amount of difference you try to park either in the same spot or reasonably close to it every day, and you don't even realize you're doing it, you're just so used to doing it. You ever had one of those situations where you take the same route every day, and then one day it's like, oh, I gotta go to one exit further because I go to Lawless or something, and you find your exit going off at the regular exit, and you go, oh! Because the pattern's so strong. I love this. Show of hands. How many people sleep on the same side of the bed every night? See, the women get to decide what side is theirs, but men, they get the leftover. I've been married 23 years, trust me. It's her side, and then whatever's left is mine. Right. I love when you talk about running patterns, I love when I do like a program at an off-site hotel where people have come in from out of town, and I'll say, okay, so how many people checked into the hotel, went up to your room, and you slept on the same side of the bed? And you can see the hands going, I did. We've got to recognize what are the patterns we run. And here's the important question. Do they support me in where I want to go? And if they don't, you need to start breaking patterns. And you can't do that until you consciously see what the pattern is. You break the pattern, and a real great way to break it is do something physically, like just stupid or crazy. If you see yourself doing something, you go, whoa! Because now you're making yourself very consciously aware of it. So, you know how you take a DVD and put it into a player and it plays a movie? I used to say CD, but that's wrong. But the DVD has what? An ingrained or lasered pattern in it. What happens if I take a nail and take the DVD and then try to play it? It would either not play or not play correctly. It would skip. So by doing something physically like, whoa, like that, what you're actually doing is taking a nail and scratching the pattern on your mind. So now when you go to do it, it's like, whoa, that's the pattern. And you've caught it. And now what you want to do is ingrain and condition a new pattern. What is it I want to do? Often, too, when I'm working with groups, we talk about patterns. I also talk about communication patterns. We often have words that we use, certain words we use. And we've got to be very careful. Do we even realize we're so used to saying certain things to describe a situation, do we even know we're saying it? I was doing a coaching training session for an executive team from a large company a couple years ago. And there's 5 of us in a room that's probably about as big as this, and we're just at a table going at it all day long. So I would come up with some things, and about 2 hours into the program, this one executive looks at me and goes, well, you know, I would argue the point. So, okay, well, let's address that. We smooth it over and go through it, explain it. And then he would come back to me and say, you know, I would argue the point. Okay, we go over that one an hour later. You know, I would argue the point. Finally, I stopped and I said, can I ask you a question? Do you need to argue the point? And he looked at me. I said, I can call you one. But what happens if you're talking to one of your people? They come up with an idea. and you say to them, well, I would argue the point. What do you think they're going to do? That's the last time I bring something up. I'm backing off. And you know what the funny thing about it is? He didn't even realize he was doing it. And it just becomes such an ingrained pattern for him to respond to something. He didn't consciously perceive what he was doing, most importantly, the impact he was having. And the beautiful thing is, he was so coachable, he changed like that. Once he consciously saw what he was doing, he changed it. So we want to look at our patterns and look what we can do to improve them. Fifth principle is, in any type of development, acknowledge all areas of your life. Like I said at the beginning, when I go in to talk to corporate groups, I tell the people up front, I said, I'm not going to come in and just work with your people to sort of jack them up so they do a better job on, for you. The new thing in HR, working with people, you have to address the whole person. And what I tell them is really it's a backdoor approach to getting the high-performing employee you want. I mean, we have so many challenges going on today with people. Personal debt is on the rise. Every night on CBC, they're talking about how personal debt is increasing and increasing and increasing. If you're carrying that large amount of debt, and that's just on your mind all the time, and you're coming into the office to work, does that impact your performance? Yes. Are you kidding me? Physical, health is a major problem. Cancer's on the rise. Heart disease is a problem. Obesity is a problem. If I'm not feeling physically strong, if I'm feeling tired, my back's aching, and I'm coming into the work that way, does that impact my performance? If I'm having a problem at home with my family, my friends, does that impact my performance? So what I'm saying to them is, we need to address all areas of your life. So if I give you some strategies on doing something, I want you to look at you as the core. And that's actually our sixth principle. We have to look at our core identity. We have to look at me at the core, build strength, and allow that to flow out to all areas of our life. And a principle I'm working with now, I've actually created, I think, is something called the flow. That's looking at your core strength, your core identity, your values, your beliefs, your emotional strength, and allowing that to flow out to all areas of your life. And where you get into problems, and we saw this last year, the CBC did a documentary study on retired athletes and depression. It was really, really interesting. There's people who had amazing careers, made lots of money, physically fit, they did some great things, but once they retire, they go into this deep depression. And then what I see in that is the flow is now going the other way, or it has been going the other way through their career, where they looked at their career and basically built their core identity based on what they do. And once they no longer have what they do, they don't know who they are. They've lost it. They have no identity. And yet there were so many great attributes within that. And if they had to just recognize that throughout their career and know that those great attributes were coming from who they are and allow that to flow to everything, they could have retired and said, I still have all those great attributes and I can apply it to everything and become a success. So build strength at the core. Build beliefs that really support you. And know that's you and you can apply it everywhere. One of the last things I'm going to get into, and then maybe we have some questions or something, really important that I'm talking to a lot of groups about, is you need to create a vision for yourself. How many people are into goal setting? Goal setting is good, visioning is better. And I'll tell you why. And these are both part of a process, but you need to have a vision for yourself. It's easy to achieve a goal and find that you've gone right and you should have gone left. You achieve your goal. Have you ever achieved a goal and went, is this all there is? I thought it was going to feel different. Vision is where it's at. And here's the thing. Your mind works in imagery. If I say, think of your home, a picture comes on the screen of your mind. If I say, think of your car, a picture comes on the screen of your mind. Here's one for you, and I want everyone to play full show of hands. Think of this first. Think of a dog. Okay? Everyone think of a dog? Okay, by a show of hands, how many people thought of a small dog? How many people thought of a big dog? How many people saw the dog as a still picture? How many people saw the dog moving? How many people saw the dog in black and white? How many people saw the dog in color? Oh, a lot of color. Right? Vivid. Great imagination. How many people saw the dog close? Further away? How many people thought of a particular breed? There you go. How many actually people, rather than seeing a dog, saw the letter D-O-G? Oh my God, you scared the hell out of me. Here's one more for you. You in 5 years. What's the picture? You know, for a lot of people, it's like static on the screen of a TV. No signal there. But that's scary, isn't it? You've got to have a vivid, compelling image of two things. Who you want to become and what you want to achieve. You talk to the leaders, CEOs of any major company. You say, what's your vision for the company? They'll know it. They'll say, this is where I see the company, this is what we want to achieve, this is where we want to go. You talk to athletes. Same thing. I see myself this way. This is what I want to achieve. This is where I want to go. This is who I want to become. We have a term for it. Visionaries. Walt Disney, look what he did. How many years ago did he walk into the wastelands of Anaheim and said, I'm going to build a theme park here, and people will come from all over? People thought he was nuts. Anaheim. When they built Epcot and finished Epcot, Walt Disney had just passed away. And a reporter was interviewing Roy Disney, his brother. The reporter said, you know, it's so sad. It's just so sad that Walt never got to see this finished. And Roy, without missing a beat, said, Walt saw it first. That's why you get to see it now. Become visionaries. I'm watching a show now on HBO. Anyone got HBO? I love this show called The Newsroom. And it's actually, the series is already finished. It finished in, it was a summertime show, but I saw the last episode, and it really, really moved me. Where essentially it comes down to an article was written about the news anchor that was, because he's trying to be a bit of a visionary with the news program and everything, and they really cut him down. And the headline on the magazine was, The Greater Fool. And he didn't really understand the whole meaning behind it, but he just took it as a real insult, and it was intended to be that way. So they're doing the newscast, and the financial person, young woman who does all the financial information on the news, at the break turns to him and says, you know, the greater fool, that's where, it's a financial term, and that basically means that if you buy or invest somewhere, no matter what you buy or pay for it, there'll always be a greater fool down the road that'll buy it from you. And he looks at it and goes, well, thanks a lot. But she's pausing and she says, no, what you got to realize is this country was built on greater fools. People who were visionaries, people who laughed at them. You know, they had people laughing at them saying, our ideas are crazy. Being a visionary is what it's all about. I can remember in 1993, I got my exposure to Tony Robbins back in about 1990, where my father-in-law, who was very successful, wanted a book for Christmas. Okay, what's the book? It says, it's called Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. I don't know who that is. So I go into the bookstore and I pick up the copy and I thought, well, if he wants one, he's pretty successful, I'm going to grab one for myself. And I open up the book and there's this picture. I go, oh damn, that's Tony Robbins from the infomercials. I know that guy. Why does he want to read this? All the seminars, and I I traveled actually all over North America at some of his seminars. I went to London, England with him. I just learned so much about him. But it really got me excited about what he did and how he helped people. Because he brings so much depth of psychology and neurosciences into what he does. It's unbelievable. The way that man knows human behavior. I mean, you can look at the TV and see the big infomercials and the big guy with the big teeth and this guy's brilliant. And I decided, you know what? I would love to do what he does. I really would. It would be so amazing. And Tony, in 1993, was doing his Date with Destiny seminar for the first time outside of the United States. And he was doing it here at the Sheridan Parkway Hotel up in Richmond Hill. And I can remember being in the Grand Richmond Ballroom, and we were sitting at the logistics table in the back, we were doing some work, and I looked over at my friend and I said, you know what? And Tony's up on stage, and I said, that's what I'm going to be doing. That's it. I can just see myself there. I'm telling you. He goes, yeah, you know, stay to it, you can do it. And then actually became partners with him in this sort of business years later. And I was helping him on some things in the United States, and I decided that I would start the business up here in Canada. Well, I started calling companies and trying to get through, and I had no business clients up here, nothing. It was all cold calling. And I remember calling Lexmark Canada, and I kept trying to get the HR woman at the time, and she would never answer her phone. And when I say never, I mean ever. And then one Friday afternoon, it was in November, I called. And she picks up the phone. I was so shocked I almost didn't say anything. I said, hi, I'm Dan Perdue, Lead Canada. And you know what she said? She goes, you know, it's so funny, I rarely pick up my phone. I said, you're telling me. But I quit too. I said, you know what? It's Kismet. We were meant to meet. And she laughed. She goes, okay, come on in. We're looking at our big conference in January anyway, so why don't you come in and talk to us? So I went in and talked to them. And we're talking about a breakthrough program. It's fantastic. It's 4 hours. It'll blow you away. The energy will rip the room apart. She goes, have you ever done it for 200 people? And at the time, the most we'd ever done it for was like 40 or 50 people. So I looked at her and said, no. And she goes, oh. I said, but honestly, I can tell you it's easier to work with a large group than it is with a small group. And I can tell you that's the truth. It's actually easier to work with a larger group. This Canadian Tire group I work with on Thursday, 7 people.
Wow.
That can be challenging at times. If you get 1 or 2 that are into it, you can be in trouble. With a group of 200, if 20 people aren't into it, they get absorbed. So anyway, she says, okay, we'll consider it. So there's 2 of them. I found out later that she basically said to her assistant, it's up to you, it's your call. If you want to go with him, your call for the conference. So she called me up and said, we're going with you. I said, yeah, first one in Canada. It's my first program I booked in Canada. I can't believe it. I'm like, woo! You know, so excited. And to this day, we still laugh. It was about a week before the program, she called me up. She goes, Dan. I said, yeah. She goes, you've got to make me look good. I said, don't worry, Catherine, we've got it covered. This is going to be a blast. So we got everything together. I got my team together, and we went up there, and we're in the ballroom, and we're setting everything up, and I'm up on the risers, looking at the back room, and I look at my buddy, and I said, Rich. He says, what? I said, this is the room. He says, what are you talking about? I said, this is the Grand Richmond Ballroom. This is the same hotel, the same room we were in for Tony. When I sat in the back and said, that's what I'm going to be doing, I was on the same set of risers I had pointed to. And that was my first workshop in Canada. Visioning. Create a vision for yourself that is so compelling. I mentioned Daniel Pink's book at the beginning, Science of Motivation. Really what he's looking at is truly what drives us is to have a strong sense of purpose. The vision helps create that. You know what it is you want to do. You know, most importantly, who it is you want to become and the things you want to achieve. And it becomes clear, it becomes compelling for you. That's the sort of thing that drives you to get up in the morning and keeps you from going to sleep at night. That's your motivation. Now with that sort of vision, you know exactly what you want to go, or you want to achieve, who you want to become. Now you set your goals. and your goals are in complete alignment with your vision. And from there, you build your strategy. What now you're going to do. Once you have your strategy, take action. Go. No matter what it is, no matter how small or how big, go and take action. You've got to put it in motion. So if you're thinking today, right now, about something you can do something today. Anything to put the wheels in motion. The next step on that, which is crucially important, review and adjust. So you just don't become a bull in a china shop, taking action after action after action after action. You need to stop at some point and say, okay, hold on a second. What am I getting back? What are the results I'm getting? What's the feedback I'm getting? Is it good? Is it not good? Is it in line with my vision? Is it still taking me to where I want to go? And if it's not, adjust. Does that make sense? So I have dumped an absolute boatload today. So the PDF is going to be in your mailbox. You can distribute it to anyone, or everyone, I'm sorry. It's been an absolute pleasure coming and speaking with you today. And thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. If you've got any questions, I would love to talk about it.
Maybe we can take 5 minutes for questions.
Everyone's in a deep trance now. It's like, holy shit.
Well,
yeah.
Here is the question. Sometimes creating a vision is good, but at the same time, it gives you pressure and stress. How can you balance that? Some people say we should enjoy life.
Okay, let me give you a couple things right now. It's in the book. Here's a couple of notes. Everything you do is driven by emotion. Everything. Okay, so if you're feeling doubt and uncertainty, you take a certain course of actions. If you're feeling proud and unstoppable, you take another set of actions. So what you need to be able to do is manage and direct your emotions. You're saying the vision will create stress. Number one, that's your belief. You see, for me, the vision creates excitement and passion and drives me. So here's one of the things you want to do. You want to look at what actually causes our emotions. And there's a few different pillars. The first pillar is you've got to look at your communication. The words you use and how you say them. Certain words will amplify emotions. So you want, again, we talk about conscious, unconscious. We want to become consciously aware of the words we're using. If I'm saying, I feel so depressed, does that have an impact on how I feel? Yes. As opposed to saying, I'm feeling a little down. And they could both mean the same thing, couldn't they? Yeah. But just by using a certain set of words, I crank up the emotional meter, don't I? Yeah. Okay? So first and foremost, we want to look at the words we're using. And this is all in the booklet. The other thing you want to do is look at what you're focused on. Enormously important. Most people focus on what they don't want rather than what they want. Like, don't talk to me about losing weight. Not that I need it, but it's like that. Now, it's a wrong focus. Anyone I talk to, I say, first thing, if they're concerned about their weight, don't talk to me about losing weight. Talk to me about getting healthy. Okay? Let's build a plan for you to get healthy. Driving towards what you want. And it is far more important to focus on your health than it is weight. I can remember years ago going on a plan, and it was a very intense fitness plan for a number of weeks where I was sitting about 170 or 180 or whatever it was, 180. And I'm on this plan where I'm eating the right things every day, and I'm exercising like 6 days a week, cardio's going out of control, and 3 weeks into it, I get on the scale, and guess what? I haven't lost a pound. Now, if I'm focused on weight, have I succeeded or failed? Right. Then I did a body fat count. What do you think had happened? I'd gone from 25% body fat down to 18.
You wish in a week.
No, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I'm telling you, I did 2 different body fat counts.
Not in 3 weeks.
My body, this plan, you ever heard of the Body for Life plan? People were doing it 10 years ago and dropping dramatically. I'm telling you. But the thing is, if I focus on body fat, okay, being someone involved with fitness, is body fat more important to focus on than weight?
Of course, but you can't get down, like, don't get that illusion that you get
Okay.
7% in 3 weeks. Don't do that.
But the message is, if I focus on health, my body fat is more important than weight.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, focus on the right thing. Same with people who say, I'm trying to get out of debt. You stop that nonsense. Seriously, you think I'm joking? Don't focus on getting out of debt. 2 things you should do. Focus on becoming a great money manager and focus on creating wealth. If you do those 2 things, you will start doing the things that will create a zero balance on your visa. So I want to create the zero balance. But see, your unconscious mind has no ability to agree or disagree with you. When I say, I want to get out of debt, where does my focus go? My focus is all on debt. If I'm now focused, I want to become a great money manager. What do great money managers do? I want to find all those tools, all those resources, all those things, and be the greatest money manager. And then all of a sudden, you start doing the things that will reduce your debt. You've got the next one for managing your emotions. You need strong beliefs. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in what you do, your product, your service, who you are, what you're about. You need to have beliefs, ironclad beliefs. And for some people that are maybe really struggling, say, I don't know where to believe, my life's falling apart. When we have nothing tangible to believe in, but we need something, what do we call it? Faith. You've got to have faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the people around you, faith that you have it. You know, you've got to have the ironclad beliefs. You think of someone like Roger Bannister. You know that for years, I mean thousands of years, man tried to run a mile in less than 4 minutes and couldn't do it. You know, the early Egyptians used to let a lion loose, chasing a man, hoping they could run a mile in less than 4 minutes. It couldn't be done. We had all the experts, the medical field, saying the cardiovascular system isn't right for it, the muscular system isn't right for it. You know what they used to say? That if a man tried to run a mile in less than 4 minutes, the heart would literally explode within their system. And yet in the spring of 1954, Roger Bannister stopped believing in the experts, started to believe in Roger Bannister, and ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. Now we think that's amazing. Now, you know what's amazing? Within a month, 11 other people ran a sub 4 minute mile. Why? They knew the belief was real, it can be done. And sometimes to have that belief of that magnitude, you have to be a visionary. See what others can't see. The fourth part on that, to control and manage your emotions, you need to manage your physical body. Look around at just how you're sitting right now. Neurosciences has shown and proven there's a neurological connection between how we use our physical body and how we feel. Duke University years back did a research study on depressed people, where they took a series of clinically depressed people, took them off their meds, and put them on a physical exercise program. What's physical exercise? Changing how we use our body, changing our breathing patterns. And they found that the exercise had an equal, if not better, impact on the depression than the meds. Like everyone, right now, stand up. Now, we're going to have some fun. We're going to close it off with a little bit of fun. Are you guys willing to play full out? Say yes! Yes! That was cheap. Are you guys willing to play full out? Say go! Yes! Wait for me. Say yes! Okay, here, this is going to take a minute or so. This is going to be a lot of fun. What I want you to do is move around the room right now and introduce yourself to people, but doing it like you're very nervous. Okay, you ready to play full out? Yeah. Just like you're very nervous. Now go and introduce yourself to people. Okay. Listen up. Let me ask you. In walking around trying to meet people like you're nervous, was your body more contracting?
Yes.
Not expanding?
Yes.
Yes or no? So you're more contracting.
Yes.
Facially, you know you've got 80 muscle groups in your face, major muscles and sub-muscle groups, just by changing you change how you feel. So, did you find you were more contracting your facial muscles?
Yes.
Breathing strong, breathing shallow. Okay, this time I want you to go around and meet people like you are afraid. You're deathly afraid. Go around right now and meet people like you are deathly afraid. Question. Here we go. Bring it in for a landing. That time, were you more contracting?
Yes.
Facial muscles, more contracting? Breathing strong, breathing shallow. Here's what I want you to do on the last one. Now, no one move yet. I want you to go around and meet people now like this is the greatest day of your life. Like everything you touch turns to gold immediately. You can do no wrong on this day. This is your day. Go around and meet people. More expanding? Yes. Facially, more expanding? Yes. Breathing strong, breathing shallow? Strong. And what was introduced to that particular segment that we didn't really get as much as before? It became much louder. Remember, your vocal muscles are also physiology. The room immediately became louder. Now, this isn't Dan pumping you up. Listen to me, this is serious now. In that last segment, you were specifically doing certain things with your body. How many people felt their shoulders pop back? Yeah. You know, it's funny, when I say, like right now, stand like you hope things will work out.
You hope?
Yeah, you hope. Oh. I just hope that things work out. I sort of hope, you know, hope. Now, stand like you're level 12. You know, and you know what else I hear? People doing this. Yeah. Breath in. And you know what? You're not unique. Every group I'm in does the same thing. Physiology, this is a pattern that you run. To feel the way you're feeling right now, if you're feeling strong, you are using your body in a very specific way. And what you want to do is map that out to the granular level. So if you're feeling, like our friend over here was saying, pressure, all of a sudden, see, even I went pressure, and my body went down like this. You can say, no, hold on a second, level 12. Now I want to put that vision together. And that's something really important. You make sure before you do your vision, you do your goals, that you are in peak state. You do not do visions or goals when you're feeling like crap and you're level 5. Because you know what your vision and goals will be? Crap. You do it when you're feeling strong, so you immediately put yourself in that peak state and say, now I'm going to create my vision. Now I'm going to see what my company will look like. I'm going to put it down on paper, I'm going to plan this thing, and I'm going to make it a reality. Any other questions? Grab a seat! Seriously, any other questions? Or I won't be as long-winded for answering stuff, I promise. Are we good? All right.